Gardening often feels like a guessing game. You plant seeds, water diligently, and yet sometimes your plants just don't thrive. They may grow, but the leaves lack luster, flowers are sparse, and fruit doesn't reach its full size. Over the years, gardeners have learned that soil alone isn't enough. The nutrients are there, but they are often locked, bound in forms that plants cannot easily absorb. Unlocking this hidden potential has been the dream of farmers for centuries, and one ingredient rediscovered through historical agricultural practices and modern experimentation can change everything. I experimented with it, and the results were undeniable. Fuller growth, deeper green foliage, stronger blooms, and a more nutrient-rich harvest. Plants have the nutrients they need, but often cannot access them. Most gardeners don't realize that nutrients in soil are not always immediately available. Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium and micronutrients exist in complex forms, bound to soil particles, organic matter, or mineral compounds. Without the right conditions, plant roots can struggle to absorb them efficiently. This is why even well-fertilized gardens sometimes underperform. Historically, farmers noticed that certain organic amendments could unlock these nutrients, making them bioavailable without adding massive quantities of synthetic fertilizers. They were essentially feeding the soil and creating the perfect environment for natural nutrient release. Modern gardeners can replicate this principle to achieve vigorous plant growth and maximize harvests while minimizing chemical inputs. The ingredient I used is humble, yet transformative. The secret ingredient is simple: molasses. Historically, molasses has been used in agriculture not just as a sweetener, but as a soil amendment. Its value lies in its ability to stimulate microbial life. Soil microbes are the engine behind nutrient availability. They break down organic matter, release locked minerals, and even fix nitrogen in certain conditions. When molasses is added to the soil or compost, it acts as an immediate food source for these microbes, dramatically boosting their population and activity. The result is a rapid increase in nutrient cycling and improved plant uptake. In effect, you are not just feeding your plants, you are feeding the soil ecosystem that feeds them. In practice, this is straightforward. I mixed a tablespoon of unsulfured blackstrap molasses into a gallon of water and applied it directly to the base of my plants every 2 weeks. The change was noticeable within a single growth cycle. Leaves were darker, more turgid, and flowers appeared more abundantly. Even plants that had been struggling in the same soil for months responded vigorously. The effect comes from microbial stimulation. As bacteria and fungi metabolize the sugars in molasses, they release nutrients in forms plants can readily absorb. Unlike synthetic fertilizers, this method enhances the soil structure and microbial diversity over time, creating a sustainable growth environment. Molasses also enhances compost and soil health simultaneously. Another practical application is using molasses in composting. Adding a small amount of molasses to a compost pile accelerates decomposition and encourages the development of beneficial microorganisms. As microbes break down leaves, vegetable scraps, and other organic matter, they release nutrients in bioavailable forms. The resulting compost is richer and more effective than compost prepared without this addition. Historical records show that even early 20th century farmers used molasses for compost enrichment, noting improved soil fertility and stronger crop yields. Now, let's talk about some practical steps for applying this technique in gardens of all sizes. For backyard gardens, I recommend using molasses as a liquid feed. Just dissolve 1 to 2 tablespoons in a gallon of water and apply it around the root zone of your vegetables, herbs, and flowering plants. For larger beds or, small-scale farms, the same principle can be scaled up by mixing molasses into irrigation systems or applying it to compost windrows. The key here is moderation. Too much sugar can, temporarily create oxygen depletion in the soil or attract pests, so measured doses are absolutely essential. Over time, this approach builds soil fertility naturally, reduces the need for synthetic inputs, and creates a resilient, nutrient-rich environment for your plants to thrive. Another tip is combining molasses applications with mulch or organic matter. As microbes break down both the sugar and surrounding organic materials, nutrient release is maximized and moisture retention is improved. Plants benefit from both immediate nutrient availability and long-term soil structure improvements. This method actually mirrors historical practices, where farmers added sugar-rich materials like molasses or brewers' byproducts to fields to energize microbial populations and unlock nutrients naturally. The lesson here is clear: unlocking plant potential isn't always about more fertilizer or expensive additives. It's about understanding the living system beneath the surface. By stimulating soil microbes with a humble ingredient like molasses, gardeners can access the nutrients already present, improve soil health, and achieve stronger, more productive plants. This method is simple, cost-effective, and rooted in both historical agricultural wisdom and modern ecological understanding. It's a tool every serious gardener should consider integrating into their practice. For more historically grounded, practical and effective gardening techniques, subscribe to Hydrohaven and share this video with fellow enthusiasts. Unlocking your soil's potential doesn't require magic, just insight, patience, and the right ingredient.